2020 is going to be a busy year for democracy. In Burlington, voters will be going to the polls 4 times this year. The first will be the presidential primary on March 3rd, where voters can select their party's presidential nominee, and independent or unenrolled voters can choose at the polls which party race they want to weigh in on. Then the town election for town-wide offices and town meeting seats will be held on April 4th. The state primary for state-level positions will be held on September 1st. And finally, the state and presidential election will be held on Tuesday, November 3rd.
So every other year we have a November ballot that has just state people and may also have like a senator, federal senator. This year, because it's a presidential election, we also have the presidential candidates. And that's the point where you see the Democratic candidate, the Republican candidate, the Libertarian candidate, the Independent candidate, all of them will be on one ballot, and you choose which one of those different candidates you want to vote for.
Warfield said that for every election, it is the goal of her office to make it as easy as possible for people to cast ballots and participate in our democratic system, even those who cannot make it to the polls.
Individuals who can't physically make it in are also eligible to do absentee voting. And in fact, we send out applications to those people that are on a permanently disabled list and to anyone who requests it. An application, once we get that application back and we get the ballots in, and that's usually about 3 weeks prior to the presidential election, we will send out a paper ballot to them and they can send that back through the mail. Or they could have a family member drop it off.
For the presidential primary in March and the presidential election in November, the town will have early voting to help give busy residents more time to vote.
Early voting is different. Early voting is that, for a convenience to the voters, we set up a time where they can come here to Town Hall and actually physically vote their ballot. It is tracked. It is not vote read until the election day, but at least it allows them to vote the ballot earlier than the election day.
Though the most attention is placed on the presidential race, Warfield said that all the elections are important and that the town election is when the results can more directly affect residents' lives. Also, when you're one of a few thousand voters casting ballots for local races, you have more say than when you are one of over 150 million voters participating in a presidential election.
Your vote actually kind of goes further. The other interesting thing is, although we all pay federal tax, we all send money to the state, the town level is where the money is actually spent. And so when you're voting for selectmen or school committee or board of health or even town meeting representative, you're actually voting for the people that are spending your money. And so you have a bigger say, I feel, in those elections, or maybe a bigger stake, because that's our money being spent on the local level.
From Burlington Town Hall, I'm B News Director Rich Hosford.